It's time now for the Pinstripe Report, brought to you by Samwell Institute for Pain Management. Losing Anthony Rizzo is not insignificant, everybody. It's just not. Now, when he came back from the IL, was he hitting home runs? No, he was not. But boy, when you watch people play first base that aren't great at first base, and then the guy that's great at first base comes back, you realize how valuable he is. And he was scooping balls out of the dirt. He saved Volpe about 2 errors. He saved Chisholm about 3 errors. I think he saved an error for Gleyber Torres. He's an exquisite first baseman, and he's not what he used to be, but he's still pretty darn good. That is tough. And the one thing I don't like, I don't know if you guys took exception to this as well, he breaks 2 bones in his fingers on his right hand after getting hit with a pitch. And then afterward, it's well, you know what, he could play with it. It's up to his pain tolerance. So you're putting it on him. I mean, you know how hard it is to swing a bat with 2 broken bones in your hand? Pain tolerance, it's going to be excruciating.
Yeah, that's
why I don't think he's going to play I don't think he's going to play in the games.
So you go Rice,
So now you're going to have Oswaldo Cabrera at first, or you're going to have Ben Rice at first. And they both do nice jobs, but they are not, especially defensively, they're not Anthony Rizzo. That was a big break.
No, that's what stinks about it, Michael, because it's not going to be Anthony Rizzo. And you're so right, because I saw with John Olerud back when the Mets had him. Like, you don't think anything. First base, defense doesn't top to mind, but going back to Keith Hernandez, Don Mattingly, it changes everything. Every throw now has the potential to be an out, not an error. When you don't have a good first baseman, Michael, it really devalues your entire infield. And
then think about it. The Yankees went from Tino, who was great, right? Great first baseman, to Giambi. I love Jason. He was a hack at first.
Right.
But then you got used to it because, he's there 7 years. And then you almost didn't realize how much you're missing. And then Teixeira shows up and you go, oh, yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be played. So it's a huge loss for the Yankees, huge. Now the Yankees are all set up, though, on who they're going to play. They might play the Orioles, Peter. It's the Orioles against the Royals, the winner that plays the Yankees. And now it's the Astros against the Tigers, and the winner of that plays the Guardians. So the Yankees might have to face the Orioles again. The Orioles are one of the teams that beat the Yankees in the season series, and it all starts Saturday at Yankee Stadium, Saturday night. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, and the Royals are no cakewalk. Again, I don't believe in any of those Central Division teams, Michael, but there's something about the Royals that's tough too, right? I mean, so who do you think they'd rather have? Who would they match up better against?
I think you'd rather face the Royals. I mean, the Royals have good starting pitching, but I just don't think their lineup without Pasquantino is enough. I just don't. So I think your pitching will be able to shut them down. And if you could scratch some runs out against a Singer or Seth Lugo or get into their bullpen, I'd take the Royals over the Orioles for sure. But I think the Orioles are going to beat the Royals.
And these
that's the pinstripe.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, finish the read, man. That's
no,
what it's
you
all
go.
about.
No, you go. No, please go.
There is an issue, Michael. I know you get to line up your rotation, but it's just so jarring, right? They almost a week off. And also the Pirate games meant nothing. Right? Especially Sunday.
And they played like it.
So that's, and then you're going to have a team coming off winning a best-of-3 series, and you sit for a week. I think that's why there's been such an advantage for these wild card teams. That's a longer break than the All-Star weekend or the All-Star break.
Oh, absolutely. It's something. And if you look at the numbers, the number 1 seed does not play well since we went to this format in 2022. That's the Pinstripe Report, brought to you by Samwell Institute for Pain Management. For pain-free life, visit SamwellPain.com today. All right, we'll come back with your phone calls. We have the NFL yesterday as well. It's Kayla Greco, Rosenberg, and you on Yes and on ESPN Radio. Let's go to Raul in Harrisburg. Raul.
Hey, what's up, Mike? Don Peter. Good afternoon.
What's up?
Good afternoon. What's up?
What's going on? Hey, I just want to talk about, I want to sound positive, Mike, but I want to hear Don and you guys. The Yankees coming into the postseason, there's 2 things that just concerning me. Is the running game, which they're not good all year, and then you got the bullpen. Which do you think is more concerning going into the postseason? Because I think both are. You know what I mean?
I don't think. I mean, they're one of the lesser base running teams in all of baseball, so there's no getting around that. I don't think that they will lose the playoffs because of a running mistake. I mean, I worry about the bullpen. I worry about hitting. You know, the hitting has not been there in the postseason in the last couple of years. So are they going to be able to hit? I'm not concerned. I mean, if you're listing things that you're concerned about, base running is way on the bottom of the list. You wish that it was better, but that's not going to lose them the series, I don't think. I mean, you could end up calling up, you know, a week and a half from now and say, oh, you were wrong. Well, maybe I'll be wrong. But, again, in order of things that I worry about, the bullpen would be up there, just the way it's deployed, and obviously hitting. You got to hit. Got to hit, and you got to hit home runs. Let's go to Ben in the East Village.
Hey, Michael, Don, Peter. Happy Monday. Hope you guys are doing well.
What's up, man?
Same to you.
Thank you. You guys might have talked about this already, but with Rizzo out at first, is Oswaldo the assumed starting first baseman until DJ comes back? I heard about the Ben Rice locker.
Yeah, I think Rice is in play. I think Cabrera's in play as well. Against a righty, yeah, it's kind of a bad situation because Oswaldo is a switch hitter who doesn't hit well from the right side. You know, he bats left-handed against a lot of left-handers, and he's just not good, lefty. So that's a concern. And, you know, Ben Rice against a lefty is somewhat neutralized. So they're both left-handed. Now, some people might say, well, gee, maybe we can get back DJ LeMahieu. Now, of those three, LeMahieu is the best defender, but can he hit with those guys? Can he impact the baseball? Not sure. That's why that was a tough injury. I mean, you're going through a weekend series where really nothing is in play. The Guardians did your work for you by losing twice and giving you the best record in the American League. But, you know, he's just standing up there at the plate, Rizzo, and he gets plunked, and he breaks 2 bones in his hand. So not good. Not good at all. So I was amazed just looking around the stadium. After an hour and 31-minute rain delay, how many people stayed? And it caused a problem in the K family because my wife took Charlie, Callie, and Callie's friend to the game. And I just told Jody, I kept texting her, I said, go home. Go home. They stayed for 3 innings, and then she told them to go home, and Charlie's still mad today.
Yeah, well,
he wanted to stay the whole game.
Well, the thing is, Michael, not everybody lives in the Bronx, right? I don't know how it is in other places around the country, but you've got Yankee fans coming from the Jersey Shore, coming from Connecticut, you know, and it takes you 2 hours, all the money you spend in parking and everything, and you want to see a game. It's the last game of the season, right? So nobody wants to go through all that trouble and all that money that was spent and not see a game. So I can understand people hanging in there, as awful as it was. If you live across the street and you go to 50 games a year, then it's maybe easy for you to go home. But for a lot of people, especially on a Sunday with kids, you want to see a game.
Let's go to Skip in Baltimore. Skip.
Hey, guys. So the Yankees had an amazing season, division clinching. Who do you see as their kryptonite and why?
I would think it's the Astros still, Skip, because they have institutional knowledge of how to get there. They've been to the ALCS 7 years in a row, 4 World Series in that time. They won 2 of them. They know how to win games, and they know how to beat the Yankees. So I think that would be my biggest fear. And the next team, I think, would be the Orioles. Wouldn't you say that those would be the top 2, Don?
Yes, definitely. But I still feel good.
I mean, Cleveland has a wonderful, wonderful bullpen. But I think the Yankees could beat Cleveland. But I think any team could beat any team. Everybody keeps asking me about the Yankees, and my answer to them is if they get knocked out in the first round, I would not be shocked. And if they win the World Series, I would not be shocked. It's not a cop-out because sometimes they look like world beaters and sometimes they look like they can't get out of their own way.
And I know you don't like to use the word crapshoot, but doesn't it feel like that? Like if you're telling me that anybody can win, the only team you said no to was Detroit. But the run that they were on to get in.
Kansas City.
But because Kansas City's been too up and down, too inconsistent to think they're going to be able to put it together. But doesn't Detroit feel like Arizona last year, a team that just got red hot? I think they're the worst of the playoff teams based on the 162 games they just played. But if you look at their September, who's better than them? So,
well, I will tell you this. So nobody from the Yankees has told me this, but just trying to do matchups and stuff like that, I think the Yankees are happy the way it played out because they're going to play the Orioles or the Royals. to Detroit, their bullpen, with the lefties they have coming out of the bullpen, the Yankees are, in fact, susceptible at the bottom of the order to left-handed relievers. I think they're glad to avoid Detroit until the ALCS. They didn't want to face Detroit in a short series because you're starting out with Tarek Skubal. What is that?
I don't know.
What am I hearing there? Let's listen in. What was that?
Sound like they're evacuating where Peter is. And
all right. See you, Peter.
Oh, boy. And Peter's now gone.
Oh, there he is.
You all right, Peter?
Oh, he's gone? Oh.
You know what? We shouldn't joke.
Don't worry about it.
We don't know.
Well, you know what? Kadeem in Brooklyn. Kadeem?
And Michael, you weren't there. You were at a game last time I called. I gave Don and Peter their flowers. But just to let you know, I've been a Yankee fan 33 years, as long as I can remember. Just hearing your voice to the point now where if I play MLB The Show and I hit a home run, I even say see you with your inflection.
There you go.
Thank you, man. Of course. But yeah, so like to the point, segueing into that, everybody knows that Don is the people's champ, and I'm just happy as hell for him and the other Mets fans. My cousin's a Mets fan, and he's a typical, just waiting for something bad to happen. Don, I think you've been very fair all year, even when you thought that they should sell before the deadline. And been listening to you all summer, and I'm glad that you guys have made it in, and I know I'm getting ahead of my skis. And it's a much harder road for the Mets, but imagine the energy, the buzz that would be if we were to have another Subway Series. I'm praying for it. I would hope. I know it's a long shot, but I would love nothing more. And in conclusion, to pay homage to one of the greatest radio drops of all time from the Watts philosopher Peter Rosenberg. God bless.
It is a good
God bless as well. I don't think it's impossible to have a Subway Series. It's not impossible. I think it might be improbable, but far from impossible.
There's another
because they're both good teams.
Well, there's another layer the Mets would have to go through to get there, as opposed to 2000. But the Mets were a wild card team in 2000. I think the road is tougher in the National League for sure, but you never know. And it'd be pretty amazing, Michael. It would be. I wonder, would it measure up to 2000? The Yankees were a dynasty. The Yankees haven't won in a while. I think it might actually be bigger.
No, because I think the first time is always the biggest. I mean, that was just amazing, and that was the end of the Yankee. Well, they still went to the World Series the next year. That was like a great dynastic Yankee team and a spunky Met team. I don't think you look at either of these two teams as dynastic. I don't think it would beat 2000.
No, but I did feel like you had a David and Goliath kind of feel to it because the Yankees had won the previous two World Series. The Mets were this like spunky wild card team. That's the parallel to this year because that's what the Mets would be. But I don't know if there's that big of a difference between these two teams. All right, the Mets right now have 89 wins to the Yankees 94. There's only 5 games separating these two teams. Mets swept the regular season series. So I think if they were to meet, I think it would be a lot more even than 2000. So would that make it a little bit more exciting?
I mean, I thought 2000 was exhilarating. I'm not sure that this would reach it, but who am I to say? It's up to each individual person how they feel. Mm-hmm. Let's go to Griffin in Connecticut. Griffin.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, Michael, I have a question. So Boone has talked about for Game 2, it's either going to be Rodon or Heel, right?
Right. Yep.
Is there a possibility that the Yankees look at because to me I would start Rodon in Game 2, and I know matchups is what you look at too, but Rodon has better numbers at home than on the road. Is that a possibility that the Yankees will look into, or are they just going to look at matchups? Because
well, Boone was asked that on Sunday or Saturday, and he said we'll have nothing to do with it, home or away. I think matchups, Griffin would have more to do with it. And he has kept open the possibility. He said that Rodon's either going to start games 2 or 3. So I don't know if they lose game 1. Does he feel that he has to have Rodon or Heel? And again, it depends on are they playing the Orioles or the Royals. I mean, there's so many things. I don't think the Yankees will set their roster until they see exactly who they're playing. That's the important part. You can't set your roster and your pitching rotation because you can do whatever you want with your pitching rotation because they have 5 days off. They can actually pitch whomever they want and whatever day. Now, how they use and employ those people, with bullpen days during the week, that's going to be impactful on who you could use. But everything right now, the world is their oyster. They just have to wait to see who's going to win that series before they decide. We know that Cole's going to start game 1. After that, well, they'll make decisions as they move along. Let's go to Dylan in Alabama. Dylan.
Hi guys. I'm kind of nervous, so just bear with me.
Don't be.
Thank you, Mr. K. I just want to say I love you guys. I'm a 20-year-old student at the University of Alabama, so
How about that win Saturday, huh?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. It was one of the greatest wins. I was at that game. It was absolutely amazing. So I was just kind of curious, since the Yankees have the number 1 seed in the AL, I'm just kind of curious, do you think this is the year for the Yankees to make it to the World Series?
Well, let's put it this way, Dylan. They have their best chance that they've had in a long time, and they're the favorite. So Vegas thinks that they're the team that's going to go to the World Series. I think everything is opened up for them. I think that for the most part, other than the Rizzo injury, which I contend is big, they're coming in healthy pitching-wise. Again, no Nestor, but you hope that he's okay for the ALCS. I think it's right there, Don and Peter. I really do. I think it's right there, and they don't have to face Houston until the ALCS if Houston gets through it. So, yeah, if you ask me, I had to make my picks for ESPN today. I had the Yankees playing the Phillies in the World Series.
Well, that's chalk, right? Because I don't believe in the Dodgers pitching is a mess, and I think that's going to really hurt them. I think Philadelphia is better than Los Angeles, and they've been, I think, all year a little bit more consistent. They had a little bit of a hiccup in the middle of the summer, but that's because they really weren't challenged in their division. Everything's are breaking their way. Outside of the Pirates series, which meant nothing, the Yankees have been playing very well down the stretch. Until the Rizzo injury, they were healthy. I agree with you. The Rizzo injury is a bit of a problem. I just don't believe in any of these teams in the American League. I know you get scared of the Astros because they're the Astros. They didn't have a great year either. I really think the American League is theirs for the taking, and that's why Vegas has them as the favorite.
I want everybody out there to be tuning into ABC tomorrow at 2:30, as it will be Game 1 of the Astros against the Tigers. I'll be on the play-by-play. That's ABC.
Look at you. This ain't the Hackett cable channel. This is ABC.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped up.
Howard Cosell.
I'm a little nervous.
Al Michaels, Michael Kay.
Kidding me?
Jim McKay and Michael
Keith
McKay.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Just the truly great.
Roone Arledge. Dan Grossa will follow us, and he's going to be on until 9.
Yay!
And then after Dan, how about this, guys? Ty Butler has the 9 to midnight slot.
Love me some Ty.
Congratulations to the Mets on getting in. And the Braves are leading 1-0 in the bottom of the 6th. So we'll have all that stuff tomorrow at 3. And now it is time